In a health report momentarily, what do Jack Black, Amy Poehler, Chris Kelly, and Biggie all have in common?
Whoa.
Exactly.
Huh. Not Kung Fu Panda.
It is not Kung Fu Panda.
I don't believe Poehler was in that, or either of you.
That is correct. And I've never been a big Jack Black fan. That's my hot take.
Too aggro?
Too aggro for me. I was like, no.
Too in your face?
As soon as I saw him, I was like, too in your face. I'm not an enormous Jack Black fan. But with this, now I'm coming over to his side.
I see.
It's something that he and I, along with Biggie and along with Amy Poehler, the star of Parks and Rec, I was never a big fan of hers until I watched Parks and Rec, which I found to be outstanding. Now, like every other radio show in America, we're covering the death of Lulu Roman more than you can possibly imagine. More than the Pope.
Yeah.
More than the Pope.
We have some conclave music for the Pope's death. But we'll use it for Lulu Roman of Hee-Haw. I heard there was controversy at the conclave already that...
What? Controversy at the conclave?
Yeah, one of the cardinals...
Have they even begun?
No, they have not begun. But
not officially, but behind the scenes, there's wheeling and dealing already.
Exactly. And one of the cardinals is not allowed to vote because he was convicted of a crime. And he says, oh, no, I should be allowed to vote. So he's rallying for his chance to be Pope.
Oh, is this, I think, is he an American?
He's a fraudster. Yes, fraudster, stripped of papal conclave voting rights, insists on participating, even while the Pope lies in state as people walk by. He is making a big deal of this behind the scenes. Yes, I believe he is. His name is Giovanni Bicco, 76, investigated for taking part in an investment scheme involving property in London, which wound up costing the church tens of millions of dollars. And he was stripped of his voting rights at that point. This happened in 2023.
Not a kid toucher.
So no.
Yeah,
Not a kid toucher. This was.
And I bet that's his argument.
Yeah.
At least I'm not a kid toucher.
He said that. Yeah, he said that. A fall from grace, who had once held the lofty position of whatever the equivalent is of substitute in the staff to the Pope. They called him the substitute. First cardinal ever convicted by the Vatican's criminal court in 2020.
The Vatican court. Oh, wow.
Wow.
So that's when they stripped him of his voting rights when the conclave comes.
He's like, I'm getting in there. I'm voting.
You know,
yeah, he wants it. I don't think they'll let him. I don't think they'll let him do this thing, you know.
Chris Demm early on asked me, can you bet on who the next pope will be? Now, I only deal with sports betting sites, but I did read that, yes, it's like a multi-million-dollar betting global market now.
Yeah, not surprising.
Of
I'm not
who the
surprised
next
to hear that.
Yeah, of course.
And they even have a bookmaker who's come out and put his, here's who my number one is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a Italian cardinal.
Okay, well, that makes sense. That's probably what they'll wind up going to. The death of Lulu Roman of Hee-Haw is sending shockwaves. Yeah, 'cause we reported she was on Hee-Haw from its inception in 1969 to its end in 1993. She missed some seasons. Got hooked on drugs.
Yeah, I don't know to what she was addicted.
Mm-hmm.
But
Wow.
starting in 1971, they say she missed, quote, multiple seasons because of drug addiction.
Dealing with drug addiction.
She got herself clean, converted to Christianity, and became a Christian singer. Then her weight was always part of her character. I mean, she was on the show to be, as we mentioned, the heavyset punchline.
She said she knew it. She said
That's why they hired me.
Hired me as the fat girl.
She came out of high school as the world's biggest go-go dancer in Texas.
In a club owned by Jack Ruby, who shot Lee Harvey Oswald, who shot President Kennedy 2 days before. My God.
How do you think she felt when that happened? I bet she was watching TV like, I danced for that guy. What? Yeah.
You danced?
Yeah, he had me marketed as the world's biggest go-go dancer. The guy who just shot the guy who shot Kennedy?
I mean,
yes.
it wasn't on the front page of the paper, but it was probably back. By the way, that girl from Hee-Haw danced.
Yeah.
Although Hee Haw wasn't on yet when
Yeah.
Kennedy was
That's right.
assassinated.
That's right.
Well, she was young when she was on Hee Haw, too.
Yeah, and so she also, of course, her weight became an issue throughout her life.
Mm-hmm.
And I read an interview with her just a few moments ago that said she had reached a point around the year 2000 where she said she had difficulty walking. She could only get around on a scooter. Her legs hurt, her knees hurt, her back hurt.
Yes.
So she had lap band surgery and lost 200 pounds.
Impressive.
Good.
Well done. She'd gone from 400 down to 200 because she knew her life was literally in danger. And so she lost that kind of weight and made it to 78. She just passed a couple of days ago.
I'll tell you, to be big and go and live till 78, that's pretty good.
I thought so, too.
Mm-hmm.
This is what
She did convert to Christianity, Biggie.
So you're on the right path a couple of ways. You're talking about the Pope.
I'm back
Well.
in the Catholics, you know.
That's right. And you're on Manjaro.
Yeah.
You crapped your pants.
I joined the club.
You joined the club. You earned your stripe. That's it. I think you're on the right path. You've been now double digits, 10 days in a row. You've been here and with us, so all is well right now.
Remember, the more Kelly glazes you,
the worse it gets.
I know. That's what I'm terrified
it
anytime you say anything good.
Now, they were talking about weight issues on Amy Poehler's podcast. She had Jack Black on. This is what Jack Black, Amy Poehler, Biggie, and I have in common. They started talking about health issues on there. The guest was Jack Black, and here's what they said.
Are you a snorer? Do you snore?
I do. I have a CPAP machine.
Dude, so do I.
Come on. CPAP.
High
team
five.
Unite.
High
CPAP!
five.
Oh, I love it. Let me tell you something.
Let's talk about our CPAP machines.
My CPAP machine was a game changer.
Changed my life.
And now I can't sleep without it.
Never want to.
Amen, sister.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
can you
100%.
relate 100%?
Oh, absolutely.
Listen, we went to the beach recently, as you know, and I took the CPAP machine, but when I got there, I was too tired the first night to hook it up, so I didn't. I just slept without it. And I went 4 or 5 days just sleeping without it. Not rested well. Did not. I'd have vivid dreams.
Did the family hear you snoring? Did they tell tales of your snoring the next morning?
No, they did not say that. She did not say that I snored, but I could tell I wasn't sleeping as well. I would wake up with dry mouth. I'm a mouth breather. And I would wake up with that dry mouth, and it was terrible.
Now, I may have asked this question before because both of you have been very upfront about your struggles with CPAP and sleeping.
Yes.
If someone does not have sleep apnea, would that machine make them sleep better? Or is it no
I don't
different?
know.
Well, I can't imagine it wouldn't. It just makes you, because you
Yeah.
can breathe so easily. It
It just keeps your lungs open, everything open more. I'll tell you, we have not checked with our friend BB Shea.
he's got one now.
He has one now, but I don't think he's using it.
Oh, you don't?
No, because anyone who uses it, truly uses it, when it starts to work correctly, they'll come in and tell you.
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh.
I think I asked him, it's been a few months, and I said, and he was like, oh, I'm trying to get used to it.
Oh.
And
May have
that's,
stayed away from it, because it does take a couple of weeks to really get it.
Mhm.
And he's out of town with his family, too.
yeah.
That's right.
And he has some of the worst sleep apnea I've ever heard, which coming from me,
is a lot.
that says a lot. That was,
Mhm.
remember one night he had to stay at my place, and I thought the building was coming down.
That's right.
Do we know if BB Shea, his CPAP is full face or nose only?
Have you heard?
I've not heard. I think he's full face, though. I would,
He needs to be full face.
if he's done the sleep study,
Because what
somebody
we
saw or heard that, he needs the
I can
full
look at
face.
him and tell he needs to be full face.
Because normally what I can, when he comes in here, he's not here today, but normally when he comes in, I can tell by just looking at the facial marks whether
Mhm.
someone has had their mask on.
Yeah.
Well, I have
A permanent mark.
a permanent mark. My nose.
It's your mark of the beast.
Early on, I had a sore on my nose from my CPAP mask. And I remember vividly walking down the beach 10 years ago, and a guy pointed at me and said, "Mark of the beast, CPAP."
Mhm.
Held up his fist. Because we knew.
We're in
know.
it together, brother.
Now it's happened to me 25 times. Like we just pointed each other's nose. Yes,
You can tell.
we're in this. We're in this together.
And Chris Demm's right, especially early in the morning when you're full face.
All strapped up.
Yeah, you'll see the markings around, and you can't hide them.
My friend Jean just asked me for a photograph of myself wearing the CPAP mask. She said, "Don't ask why." I said, "I won't." I took a picture of myself.
I would ask why.
I think it might. Now, going back to the podcast with Jack Black, Amy Poehler, what do you think the breakdown is, men and women versus?
way more men.
That's what I assumed.
Oh, yeah.
I was a little surprised to hear Amy Poehler
yeah.
has apnea.
Yeah.
You know, but I've always been told a lot of women have it. They just will not,
Mm-hmm.
they don't want to be open about it as far
probably.
as they'll use it, but they're not going to tell you.
I've just showed you the photograph that I sent to my friend.
I would not have sent that out to anyone ever. In fact, normally I say send that to me and I'll post it, but don't. For your sake, I mean, the jokes that will be made.
I'm here to take over Gotham City, Batman.
And the things that will be copy and pasted over the hose.
The hose.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah, you're asking for it.
Hose placement is
And who is your friend, Jean?
From the gym.
Who is your friend?
From the gym.
What does she do?
She just said, out of the blue, she texted me and said, I need a picture of you close up wearing your CPAP machine asking for a friend. And I don't know
Yeah, I would not have sent that.
what that meant or not. And she said, I know this is a strange ask. Don't ask any questions.
So did you just kind of clearly you posed for that?
I did.
That's not your bed.
No, it's not my bed. In fact, I had it back from vacation, and I was in a different room. I was in the guest room, and I had it, and I was unpacking in there.
Because you've got your eyes wide open and your mouth open and a happy kind of cartoonish smile, and you're waving.
Correct. Exactly. That's exactly right. Doesn't it look great? I thought it looked fantastic. I hate to do this, but we have to get into some health news involving drugs. Magic mushrooms have become the rage among young people now. Mushroom use is way, way up. I just saw that as marijuana use is becoming more and more legal, mushroom use is spiking higher as well. And I don't really know why that would be. I guess people just enjoy it. I've heard of this like microdosing and stuff of it too, where you have shrooms early in the day. Who was it recently? Was it Jackson? No, who's the singer of Jesse's Girl? Rick Springfield.
Yeah.
Springfield says he microdoses every single day.
Is it mushrooms or is it
He did
LSD?
He did LSD.
That's a lot of people microdose that.
Yeah, they
for
microdose
mental
LSD.
health.
These are it's the use of magic mushrooms risen sharply in the U.S. over the last 5 years. Those between 18 and 29, a 188% increase in mushroom use.
Never been offered them. Never seen them. Have no interest in them.
Me neither. Well, I was offered them once. You remember my roommate?
Well, I wouldn't say offered.
What
You said you gave him money for some.
Yeah.
he said I got to walk across campus and get our shrooms.
You handed money to a courier.
He never came back.
He still
never-
wanders the hills to these days.
Yeah.
Exactly. He never came back.
I
with
had
our shrooms.
friends in high school and stuff who would try acid and that. I never did because it terrified me.
Of course.
Like I don't want to see, people, it unlocks your mind and this. I don't want to unlock anything in my mind. It'd be terrible.
We have a music event here close by called Merle Fest this weekend. And I was reminiscing with Chris Demm when I was on college radio back in the early 1990s. And now I've mentioned barbecue sandwich making, college radio, and my days
TV
on
time.
local TV. It's the trifecta.
If you're playing bingo.
We've hit it today, man. We have hit
We're
it.
playing cover all night.
Yeah.
That's right. We do it blackout.
Black out that card.
I said about Merle Fest, this festival's never going to amount to anything. I said it on our air. I said, you know why?
I think you should talk up Merle Fest.
I said, are you out of your mind?
Are you kidding me?
I took the liner card. We call them liner cards. It had like information written about Merle Fest on there. Tore it up right in front of the PD. I said, you know why? Bunch of dope smoking hippies out there. It's going to amount
Standing in a field.
to nothing.
Man, we should start a book of Chris Kelly's wrong predictions.
Is that the coldest of my
I mean, it's
freezing
like
cold time?
Coachella of the Carolinas.
Yeah.
It is. All over the news, they were like, oh, Merle Fest this weekend. Here's the weather. Merle Fest. Here's who's playing.
Legends line up
Yeah.
to
Oh,
play
yeah.
there.
You know what I said in 1990? Going nowhere. Nowheresville, man.
I mean, look at the name. I mean, that's a bad wrong prediction, but the one still that stands out the most to me is our great trunk or treat event.
I said,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, I'll be standing out there with my thumb up my butt. There'll be 4 people there.
Nobody's coming.
Nobody's
to trunk
coming
or
to
treat.
trunk or treat. Most successful event in the station's history. We've now done it 4 years running, and it gets nothing but bigger and better.
Yeah.
And in year 2, they said, we want to make it bigger. I said,
No,
don't.
that's a mistake.
My
Kids don't want DJs and food trucks and
No.
petting zoos.
That's
Turns out
They
do.
do on Halloween. One more note here about drugs. A woman in Oklahoma, Darlene Durham, was the manager at Sonic in Oklahoma. She gave a 16-year-old coworker, part-timer, a marijuana edible. The young teenager became ill, high, and sick. And Darlene said, "You got to work the line. You cannot. I cannot get in trouble for this."
But that's usually because of overconsumption, correct?
Yes, but she swears, "I just gave her one gummy," and the girl got sick on it and became unresponsive to the point where her coworkers are saying, "We need to call 911." And Darlene said, "Don't do it. Don't do it."
This isn't one of those roller skate Sonics, is it?
No. Oh, God, I hope not. I hope not. That's a good question. That wasn't mentioned.
Whoa. Where's Darlene?
Darlene gave it to this girl.
Okay.
Because she gave it.
We don't know the name of the girl.
The minor. She's
Okay.
16. She wasn't mentioned. Here's the police officer who investigated. Darlene's been arrested.
She was throwing up, being sick from all the stuff she ingested. I was just kind of taken back a little bit about why did you give it to her or whatever. How did she end up with it? Because she asked for it. That's just zero responsibility for anything. Not only a 16-year-old, but also at a restaurant where they're going to be involved with people all day long, right? Something bad's going to happen no matter what.
Gave it to her right at the start of the shift.
Yeah. Can't imagine stoned fast food workers.
Yeah, that never happens.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Your order's not going to be right at all. Your order's going to be terrible.
What's up, bro?
There's no way you're going to get the right thing, We're just talking about fast food. How are you supposed to get anything decent when you go to a fast food restaurant and the person is stoned there?
Yeah.